Sorry. Welcome back to the channel. This is DeadMf. We are back again in the prison called life. Prison called life. We are back again in the prison called life. Sometimes I ask myself if there's truly such a thing as a satisfying life, because, we've been sold this fantasy that, we must strive for success, to achieve success, whatever the hell that means, because what is success, And we've come to find out that, success, according to society, is getting a big house, getting a car, maybe two, getting married, to getting a wife or a husband, having kids, drifting away into the horizon, living happily ever after. And we are told that that is a satisfying way of living. That is a successful life, What more can you want, You've got a house, you've got kids, you've got a beautiful wife or a handsome husband, And we can agree not many people are handsome or beautiful, but that's not the case, And, they'll tell you that this is a successful life, So I often ask myself, this is the American dream, But what truly happens when the American dream now becomes the American nightmare, What happens, Because as much as that sounds beautiful, the majority of people spend a lifetime trying to maintain those things, You work your ass off to pay off that house, to pay off those cars, To make sure that your wife or your husband is happy, Otherwise, they're gonna leave you, You take your kids to schools, man. Better schools, You don't want to take them to ordinary, regular schools. No. Remember, you want them to have a brighter future, right? You want them to be more successful than you, get much bigger houses than you, get much fancier cars than you, Get an investment portfolio much heavier than yours, That's what you want, You want to take your children to better schools, private schools, man. You don't want to take them to ordinary schools, So the majority of your life, that's what you're working for, man. That's what you're slaving for, So what happens when those things turn against you, The wife that you love or the husband that you love, they tell you, you know what, John, I'm not happy anymore in this marriage, You don't satisfy me anymore, What happens when the kids that you thought would be, sweet little angels, now they turn out to be gangsters, murderers, What happens, When we see your sweet little daughter on OnlyFans, what happens now, So, man, I think, this American dream, man, it's a fantasy, And for the most part, many people will agree with me that it's not worth it. It's a burden, That's why you see so many people, especially family men, who off themselves, Because now they realize that this is simply not worth it, I was sold a lie, I bought into the American dream, I thought if I did this, if I do the right things that society wants me to do, that my mama wants me to do, that my daddy wants me to do, everything's gonna be all right, Now the company I work for many years is now telling me that, listen, Charlie, we found a younger guy, with more qualifications than you. And he's less expensive to pay. So bye, Charlie. We don't need you anymore, you know? The kids that you raise, they tell you, controlling, dad. I don't need you in my life anymore, you know? Because, you know, you thought that you're gonna raise these, you know, beautiful kids who are a positive contribution to the society. Now they tell you, fuck off, dad, you know? Most times they'll tell you, you're not even my dad, you know? You know, your wife tells you, you don't do it for me anymore, my guy, you know? What happens, you know? See, society doesn't talk about this, you know? They don't talk about the American dream turning into a nightmare, you know? And how many men and women who have bought into this dream, you know, they're now facing a nightmare, you know? You know, so you have to ask yourself, man, is the American dream worth it, man? Is buying into this successful life worth it, man? Because to be honest, I think when you can say you're successful is when you're content with whatever you have, you know? You get to have that inner peace, you know? And you don't really want anything anymore. You don't desire much anymore, you know? So we are sold this American dream because, remember, the banks want your money. The companies want you to work like a slave, you know? Because remember, you've got responsibilities now because of the American dream, you know? So we are sold this dream so that you can just become a slave. That's really all there is to it, you know? So when things like that happen, man, you'll realize that most men and women, you know, they off themselves, you know? That's the American dream now becoming the American nightmare, you know? It wasn't worth it, you know? And I think many people are now starting to realize that it's not worth it, you know? But anyway, man, this is DeadMf and I'm signing out.